start this conversation by asking you, what do you think was the biggest achievement of higher education in India in the year 2023?
The biggest achievement has been that we have been able to transform ourselves and become a global. That two things we have done. First, we have done that we have invited that we are not afraid and we are open all other global universities to come in, because we have a huge set of people needing to be educated, or a large pool of young college going students. We will not be able to have educate them all. So, all other universities are welcome. We are not afraid of the competition. Also, the other thing is that we have taken our first step. We have gone abroad now, and we said we also want to globalize our education and give our education to other places. Two of the examples you have seen are IIT in Zanzibar and IIT in Abu Dhabi. As IIM Ahmedabad, we have set up our own small setup, our executive education setup, and opened an office in Dubai. And from there we are operating our executive education, running the general management program for working executives. So, those have been the great achievements of 2023, I would say. The other achievement is the rolling of NEP, which is happening in this period. The speed has been quite good, wasn't expected to be this fast, because there are UGC, there is AICT, there is a NAC, the accreditation body, there is a NBS, another accreditation body. Integrating all that together is a big challenge, but tremendous amount of progress has been made, and I think in a less than a year time, we will be able to integrate all that. So, all this issue of diplomas, degrees, etc., whether credit transferability, young child moving from one institute or one city to another city, losing that year, etc., all those will be addressed. So, that is another great achievement we are done in this during this period.
Right. Is there something that could have been done differently or better maybe, and what is your overall vision for the next year?
All right. What could have been done differently? I would say not much could have been done differently. I think the policies are clear, and the moment NEP has come in, the challenges are huge. And the good part which I would say has happened is a high degree of consultation. So, today in implementation of NEP, the involvement of hundreds of universities in various consultative processes has been a great achievement. But when you involve and consult more people, the processes do get slow. So, I would say it is not a drawback, it is an achievement, because otherwise we would have gotten there faster, but not with the buy-in of everybody.
Okay. Sir, I want to understand what goes into making a B school that can equip students for the economy of today.
You see, one is that every B school has a different objective.
Right.
Every B school should not be pitching to create the leaders of the industry or leaders of the society. We as Ahmedabad, our goal is to create the leaders. So, every school has to first find its objective. Your objective is to create the employable managers is one objective, but when you are creating the leadership, the challenges are going to be either your ability to generate in them the decision making capability. The essence is same, but the tools are going to change. So, they have to have a critical analysis capability in them. Irrespective of the changes of the tool, they can adopt to newer and newer tools and yet be able to make those decisions which are based on more information, and I would say today more processed information in form of knowledge. So, actually AI tools, etc., which are coming in are actually processing information to a higher degree. Earlier we got the raw information, and our managers or our leaders had to make the decisions on that raw information, process that information. Today AI is bringing capability that we can process a large information, create the knowledge nuggets out of it, and now you have those knowledge nuggets. So, decision making can be faster only if you know how to get those knowledge nuggets and involve them in your decision making. So, that is the big new challenge which management education should be adopting in it. Similarly, in the technology frontier. So, in every frontier, these kind of upgradation of your capability of imparting education has to happen. The pedagogy itself has to change. You can't use the age-old pedagogy. Now you need to understand the student coming in the class or a training manager in the classroom already has that capability to harness those knowledge nuggets. And if you are not able to impart him education, that how can you do the decision making when the knowledge is available to you, and you keep teaching him how you make the decision when the information is available to you, they are not going to be good leaders.
Right.
So that is the challenge we need to adopt to, and change our pedagogy, change our classroom interactions in that kind of environment.
Right, right. So, in your keynote, you had a brief, like you gave very detailed answer why Indian B schools can't hack it into the top bracket of the global B school rankings.
Yeah.
But if you could just give us like a short summary of why that doesn't happen.
You see, we are not, because the ranking parameters are not suited for my economy.
Okay.
The Indian B schools were created, or especially IIMs were created, to serve this country's economy, boost this country's economy, work on managing various organizations which are going to lead this country. Now, our parameter was not what was the same for European schools or US business schools. They had a running economy or a serving growing economy, in which these people were created to harness that capability and continue in that kind of a model.
Right.
So our model was different, our parameters were different. We worked for those parameters. We have shown the impact of that, that our education is no less, and our imparting of education is no less, because if you look at the CEOs across the world, I think today our Indian CEOs dominate the global landscape. And of course, you look at the Indian landscape, the IIM Ahmedabad CEOs, because that has been our goal to create the leadership. So, is dominated by that leadership, including not only the business landscape, we create that multifarious talent of leadership in them. So, from Ajay Banga today heads the global finance scenario, right? So, he is the head of the topmost apex body of the world. So, that is the great proof that what we have done is the right thing. Now, if you go to ranking, etc., there are several types of ranking in US. One of, you see, if you look at the USA Today, which is very commonly used ranking in US, actually they look at only the placement and perception data. Now, of course, you look at ask anybody in the USA Today poll that what is the perception of IIM Ahmedabad, many of those people will not even know where is IIM Ahmedabad. They have never aspired and never applied here, right? So, those rankings are driven towards them. Financial Times rankings were not designed for India. They started doing that, we are doing global ranking. That doesn't mean they become global rank. USA Today, top 10, hardly include any European schools. Reason is very simple. The USA Today ranking is geared toward US. Financial Times, we are beginning to adopt ourselves as if it's a world ranking. And if you go with that model, then US schools also get lower rank compared to the European school, meaning that the mix of both comes up.
Right.
It's not geared toward our parameters. As I said, the certain parameters we look for is that how much leadership capability you have created, is the placement data, right? Placement meaning that our placement salary packages today are number 1 in the world as per FT ranking itself. They are looking for internationalization. What is internationalization to them? A European school will have students from all the countries surrounding it, which is like a states of ours. I have so many states in this country, which is like their countries, right? So, I have a diversity, my diversity should be measured that are we representing every state in this country. A decent percentage or equivalent percentages are coming from each state of the India or not. So, we are highly diversified in that. If you see faculty diversity, they will say, oh, I have an Italian professor, I have a French professor, I have a Spanish professor, I am highly diversified, we are international. I also have professors in any IIM you go, from almost every state of the country.
Every state.
So, we are also highly diversified.
Right.
But they are not counting that as diversity. They no, show me the foreign passport only. So, those are the parameters they are unable to understand or unable to accommodate us. So, it's for us to convince them or not pay so much attention to their ranking.
Right, right, right. So, if a student today comes to you for advice, that he or she has an option between a top B school abroad and a top B school in India, what would your advice be?
I would say top B schools abroad is a very broad term. Okay. So there are B schools. I would say top B school in India is any time better than most of the European school, barring maybe one or two.
Most being the keyword.
Most being keyword. Similarly in US, there may be few business schools. I will say, yeah, they are maybe better or maybe offer you a better global employment than us. But I would say to any Indian student, if you have a choice between IIM, and amongst IIM there are also shades. So if you have a good IIM with you, think 3 times, not even 2 times, before picking up a institute abroad for sake of picking abroad.
Right.
Look at the cost differential. Our return on money is so great, right? $200,000 for a degree in a Wharton versus our degree is what? Not even 30,000, 40,000 or whatever dollar equivalent.
Right.
So we are giving you value for money, and I don't think you'll have any lesser career. Yes, you are graduating from Wharton, so you'll immediately find a US employment. You are graduating from IIM Ahmedabad, you'll find immediately a Indian top employment.
Right.
And even in consulting company which are sought after by them and sought after by our students, you'll find employment in the same companies. And when our people are transferred to global places, they outperform them. So I would say, if the choice is there, think twice. If your goal is to settle somewhere else or do something else in life, you may think of that. But otherwise, Indian B schools are I should qualify, the top B schools here are better than most of the B schools, barring a few.
That's very insightful, sir. Last question. How do you think B schools in India are preparing students for the corporate world of today, especially given the fact that aspects like ESG are becoming more and more integral?
Sure. I think you have seen the Indian B schools have already adopted. At Ahmedabad, we have already have a full-fledged center doing research in ESG and impact of ESG in corporates and how they can adopt that. The center also offers courses in elective mode to all our PGP students or postgraduate students. So we are adopting because we know ESG is more important to us than them. The environment is something a great issue for us, because if we have to be a thriving economy, we are talking 5 trillion, we are talking 10 trillion and on as we grow. If we don't take care of our environment, I think we may have an economy, we may not have lives. So we pay deep attention to that, and as and when not standards have come in, as and when these terms have come in, we have begun to do our own research on energy transition. We just held 2 days back a high level meeting or a workshop. How can we do just transition in India? Just transition means that from coal you are going to move to, let's say, solar energy. What will happen to the thousands and thousands or lakhs of people who are employed in coal sector? What will happen to the economy of Jharkhand, Odisha, highly coal producing country? So are we figuring it out? We should create a transition model that they are retrained, re-employed, or coal is converted into something which is useful energy and non-polluting energy. So we need to do research and think about how this transition will take place smoothly. So we are already working on those. As I said, Jharkhand, Odisha, the top officials were there, and we had a 2 days consultation with our ESG center, research center, and carried out what could be the issues, what are the challenges, what should be the new policy of a transition, which we submit to government, and being two delegations were from government only. So we work with them, and whatever we do and learn here goes back to classroom. Right? That's how IIM Ahmedabad has prided itself. We do lots of this policy making and research work and consultancy with industry. Their faculty keeps updating itself or learning itself, and when it goes to classroom, all that also gets shared with the students.
Okay. So it was a great pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great having you here.
Thank you.